Everyone lives, everyone dies. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is there war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one bleeds, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Isn't it time when the stars die? Isn't it time mother stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is there war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Isn't it time when the stars die? Isn't it time mother stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, make peace. All right, make peace, peace together. Peace. Welcome to the Shadow Chasing Show, folks. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm Derek White Sky Claw. Thank you for being in the chat room. Those are in the Facebook as well as the YouTube. You guys are here. My God, I can't believe it. Yeah, I'm a little bit late getting in here. Facebook is messing with me right now. I don't know what's going on. They are kicking people out and dropping them back in. So whether they are updating their, um, I don't know what it is. It's just I was coming on, then they kicked me out. And coming out, no, can't do this. Why? You've been restricted. Restricted from what? So I'm writing to them, and like, there's someone made a complaint, said I was a bad person. And I go like, that person has. So I went to the page to find out who this person was, like why they're tracking me. Find out what it's unknown page. That means this person doesn't even exist. So guess what? I'm being followed by an unknown person. So yeah, what can I say? We got some really weird people out there like to play the game, and that's what happens, guys. Things happen that way, right? Anyways, hope you guys are joining me also on the chat room. Both chat rooms are also on face. Besides Facebook, we're also in the YouTube chat room. So if you guys are able to bounce back and forth, you're more than welcome to. Tonight we got a lot to talk about, and that is, well, as I'm sure you guys have been seeing this. Oh, by the way, before I go any further, let's talk crazy stuff. Thank you guys for joining us. Actually, I hope you guys had a great Christmas. Christ Mass, or how you celebrate it. Hope you guys got stuffed. Did you really get stuffed? There's turkey, ham, and I had steak. Let them eat cake. As that one lady walked around with wanting to be queen, and she got lost her head over that. Let them eat cake. And all she was trying to do is basically, I guess she wanted to. Okay, she knows. She wanted the people out there to eat cake, and I guess someone in their own personal castle of politics, thinking that she was against the people, so they decided to cut her head off. She lost her head over cake. Not bad, eh? So we have. I'm sure you might know who she is, right? Let them eat cake. Poor kid shouldn't have lost her life on account of that. But you got some very crazy ass people out there that are, that's what happens. So I know we got people in the chat room trying to come in and drop in to say, guys, thank you guys for joining us from both ways. I'm going back and forth, back this room and that room, back and forth this way, here and here, right? So if by some chance one goes down, I got the second one. That's how it works, because you got to be one step ahead of these idiots. Because once in a while they like to block you, gag you, stop stop hearing you. This is what they do. They try to, if they don't like what they'd like to hear, they are, because right now we are being followed. Everybody now is being chased by CBC, CBS, and anybody who's basically considered as a corporation, radio, TV station, even not global. They don't give a crap, but CBC is very selfish. And hey, CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, or what do you call it? Chinese corporation, whatever you want to call yourself, I don't care. Itchy nose, dry. Dry nose. The weather's changed up here a little bit. It's very, very wet. We had a wet Christmas. We never had no snow here where I'm living. No snow, all wet. Cool night. I'm dreaming of a wet Christmas, that white, WET. So yeah, that's kind of strange. We don't often have winter Christmases often, but when we do, it's cold. But we've had a few winter seasons like that. And this year, it's all to do with the wet. We're just wet, and our skies are always gray. Seldom ever see a blue sky. I don't know what it is, man. They sure got something to cover up there. I don't know why. I'm looking for drones, guys. I'm looking for drones. Where are the drones above BC, above Vancouver? I can't see drones because they got the freaking clouds in the sky. I can't find the angels and those big, huge orbs because the clouds are covering them up. Who's covering them up? Gee, I wonder who. Right? So, but in other parts of the world, as in, say, New York, and a few other places, they see them all the time. Drones being even attacking farmers from the sky. Literally, they actually were tracking farmers, and farmers had to take their guns and shoot them down. And Trump actually gave them permission to do it. They're not who they are, folks. They actually came out of the ocean and they decided, here's what we're going to do. We're going to scare the people. We're going to do what's called a false flag scare. UFO or underwater, whatever you want to call themselves, underwater FOs. And you know what I'm talking about, FOs, underwater FOs. But anyways, through my research, I decided to do some channeling with spirit. And I sat down with them, and it was very, boy, when I get into the energy, it gets crazy. I start to yawn. I get the feeling. It gets very deep. Now, some people have actually said these orbs are just nothing but energy balls, or they're saying they're UFOs. Some are saying whatever have you. My feeling is there's more to it. These, I feel, some people call angels or called aliens, like bad angels or whatever you want to call them. Whatever. There's always some people actually always talk negatively about extraterrestrial aliens, and not everybody's bad, right? Oh, you buggers. You kicked me out again. Come on back. Thank you very much. There we go. So, why did it flip around? Oh, this is why. There we go. Got rid of you. Okay. So you'd like to play there. I'm actually running between three screens. I got one here, as you can see from the YouTube screen. I got one over here on my cell phone. So I'm running all three screens at the same time. And this one here kept jumping back and forth in Facebook, and they're bouncing me out. They shouldn't have to do that, but this is what they're doing. Let me give you guys, before going any further with the show, Facebook actually decided to downsize me even lesser for viewers. Why? They don't like what I talk about. We're going to scold you. We think we need to downsize you a little bit more so there's not as many people that will follow you. Will prevent your followers from actually following you unless they are legitimate and they have to know you personally. That's what Facebook says now. They have to know you personally, or if they're family. And if they're truly following you, they have to let you know they're following you. No. See, this is what Facebook's doing. Now, they're going to go bye-bye soon. I already know that. So, but the thing is that we're trying so hard to get the word out, right? As much as we possibly can. They're going to play every little game they can to prevent things from happening. YouTube did the same thing. They tried to how you say, stop me from talking. So they'll actually mute my mic, or they'll say, I can't find the service. They'll come up with something. Now, I should have people in the chat room, coming in the chat room. It shows they're in the chat room, but there's nobody in the chat room. So they're playing the game again. That's what they do. No, I don't want to learn more. Thank you very much. This is what they do. Anyways, they're trying to create a new thing for me to do, or for me to do here, something new they want me to do. No, allow people into the chat room. Live chat. Yeah, live chat. I'm in. So I don't want to learn more. Thank you very much. Anyways, those guys, come on, jump into the chat room much as you possibly can on the YouTube. Thank you very much. So you guys can get in, because for some reason they're preventing people from coming in the chat room. I got a whole bunch of people lined up on the screen. It shows me that they're all wanting to come in. It says, I can't get in the chat room. It's open, but they're saying learn more. It says learn to regard your privacy. I don't want to guard privacy right now. Stop it, guys. Go away. See what they do? They're interfering. That's what they do. If they don't want to get people in the chat room, they try to shut them out. Happens all the time. That's why I ask you guys can jump back and forth between YouTube and Facebook if you have to. If you haven't, do it. Okay, now thank you guys for being in the chat room. Those actually there and by name. We're going to be talking. Actually, what I was trying to talk about was different things that are happening through this last little bit of the seasons, and what's happening in our government, and as well as what's happening now. We're talking about angels, and it's happening in our orbs, and the little drones are in the sky. They're the size of cars, not little tiny drones that people have. But there we go. Good. Thank you, Jesse. Now they're in. I told YouTube to let them in. So they kept on telling me, no, can't do that. Yes, you can. Jump right in, Jesse, and then inform everybody to jump into the chat room. Talk, guys, talk. Hello, testing. Good evening. Yes, you are, Jesse. You're there. Thank you very much. See, I knew it was going to happen. Just have to jump in. So, needle and thread. Let's talk about the orbs. Now, when I started, and I was talking to Spirit last night about the orbs, and I was talking about, I wanted to ask him about the drones. What's all this purpose between the drones, the orbs, and the Vatican? The Vatican's saying they're opening the vaults. And this vault's apparently supposed to be something to do with Lucifer. Or releasing Lucifer. I have no idea. Lucifer can never be real. Why are they talking about, our Vatican's going to keep him in a vault? Ain't going to happen. Okay, he's not in the vault. He's there. He's out in the open, guys. Give me a break. But it's a little ceremony they do. Now, here's a creepy part of it. I watched a video a couple of days ago yesterday, 25th. I watched him sort of all the cardinals or the people or followers of the Pope follow him to the vault. And there I was looking at all the faces of the people holding on to their poles or whatever they're holding on to, whether it's flames, whatever materials, to acknowledge this particular ceremony. Now, number one, December 25th is interesting because like I told people, on the 25th of December is going to be a day. It's going to be like a sting in the day. Like it'll be kind of a sting. And or Trump said it was going to be a little bit of a sting for 25th. But he said that already a couple of weeks before that. Man, somebody's really trying to make me itchy. I never had that problem before. They're messing with my nose. I've got something doing this in front of me. They're trying to distract me from talking about this. Okay. Go again. When I was in the shower, and I use water as a conduit so I can make contact with the spirit more because it's a stronger energy. Ever tried sometime, guys? Even if you go meditate in the shower or in the tub, it's worth your while. You'd be surprised at how much you can reach in spirit. But anyways, I was there in the shower, and I asked Spirit regarding the orbs, the large giant orbs in the sky, and also the drones, as well as the vault that the Pope is opening up. Now, here's what I was told. Those orbs came out from the sky to protect us from the attack. This is a war between the darkness and the light. But they're also here to protect us. The Pope has no good intention to help us. The Pope's intention is to disturb us, to make us scared, as if he's the authority of all leaders. He is not a god. He is nothing. Okay? They said that he doesn't represent anything anymore. They said because the real Pope is gone. The real Pope is gone. According to Mary, he was taken to a hill and removed around on a tree. And that happened a couple of years back. Now, it was predicted by Mary to the children of a village in Puerto Rico back in 30, 40 some odd years ago. And he was supposed to be the last pope. This is the last pope. The one that's in the wheelchair is not a pope. He's just a representative. Repre. That means that he's not real. This is a show. This is a freaking movie. And he's doing this with long staff. Boom, boom, boom. And then they open up, they break away the walls. It's always like Jericho, walls Jericho come, and all the chunks of stones falling down. Here's the kind of funny thing. I'm watching the stones fall down, but when I saw it on the film, the stone should have hit the monks or even the papals, like the people, the priests, the ones that are walking in. The stone should hit them on top of the head, and the stones were CGI because they passed right over them, like they disappeared. Like, and I go like, "Hey, what's this?" They all transparently fell through, like they were as if they never existed. Are you kidding me? I was like watching. It's a CGI, folks. It's not real. So the purpose of this, what the Pope said he was going to do, he was going to release, what, the evil. Why? So why would he release the evil? He's supposed to be a pope. He's supposed to be a white pope. But he's not a pope. He's poop. So that's a waste of time. Okay, so I'm avoiding the Vatican. This is almost like they say to you, look at here, but don't look over there. Look over here, but don't look over there. Now, if we didn't take the Pope out, say the Pope didn't pass away, then it really would have happened. All these things would have been released, and then we would have been in trouble and blah, 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 blah. But it all got changed. Why? Because our giant orbs out there in the space and the skies are like angels. Okay. And the cool part, I was watching a lady. I was sent a video from somebody who this young lady was actually talking to an orb, and it was in the sky. And apparently this orb got close to her, and she talked to the orb. She says, Jesus is my Lord and Savior. And the whole orb just got crazy and like lit up, and she's like, boom. And I'm thinking, and the girl says, oh my God, you are an angel. And it got lighter and lighter. So I knew then whatever she had said, that made a whole lot of sense. So those orbs are here to protect us. Okay. Some of you out there may not believe it. Angels are not always in human form. They also take different forms in different light. Okay. We see angels as we're taught, human form with wings, but not all angels are in human form with wings. Okay. They come with different kinds of shapes and sizes and looks and features. So we have so many, whether it's seraphim, you name it. There's all kinds of angels out there that are not also always in form. Okay. But we were at war. Okay. During the lockdown, 2019, 2020, we were in a great war. Okay. War between good, bad, and good. And God won. Okay, so that's the reason why all this had to take place. We had to be taken out of the way, set aside, so we can actually be protected. Now, it happened again because they're supposed to do it one more time, which they already had done. That's what Christmas Day is. The Christmas Day of the 25th of December had nothing to do with the Christ. Jesus was born on the 13th, Friday the 13th. Okay, the 25th is acknowledging something else. Right? Something else, which was to basically, it's almost like release the Kraken, like scare the people. And that's what the Pope is trying to do. Like I said before, that's all CGI. And I watched the fake rock a fake crumbling stone come down off through in between the door that he was trying to open up, and it came down and it passed by everybody. I mean, literally, it was transparent. It just fell through to look like as if it was real. Like, are you kidding me? So I knew then it's not for real. Okay. So we are going through the beginning of a new generation, a new time, a new awakening, a new beginning. 2025 is the time of, oh my God, I can't believe it's a girdle. So, from the old commercial. And it's going to change everything. It's going to, you're shifting into a new energy, a new light, a higher light. Everyone, not light, a higher light. Even though you are who you are today, everyone's going through what you call an energy shift. Sometimes you're actually having strangest of all dreams, and they actually sometimes some of those dreams can be very scary. Those are leftover residual negative entities, negative energies that have been flowing through the space, and those who are of the light are going to be attracted to that and pick it up. It's not going to haunt you or hurt you. They're just passing through because we were trying and have been trying to protect all of our loved ones and people through the generations. And it's all based on etheric and residual energy from different planetary systems, different etheric fields, different dimensions, and we are all connected to all these dimensions. That's why we have alpha, beta stated, okay? And a meditation, alpha, beta state. So we're going through different dimensions of how we see things, and that's the same thing when you go into a sleep and or a meditation. So we're going through those phases right now, and we're just finishing it off, okay? So okay, I'll write that down from you, Catherine. Thank you for coming in the chat room. Write that person's name down and see what that's all about. And see, actually, I don't know who that person is, but I will say this is going to be important. We're going through what you call a now this was predicted. This was actually mentioned. Even our commander-in-chief had mentioned this, that there's going to be a fake UFO invasion, and they're CGI. Okay, the same thing they did with 9/11. CGI, Twin Towers, CGI, so many other things. We had to see to basically what they're trying to do really is to see if we're still scared, to see if we'll be frightened and run away and stay in our house, to see if they'll, like Chicken Little, the sky is falling. That's exactly what they want us to feel. Okay, they want us to feel like we just can't make it, that we're hiding. It's not. So, yeah, Keith, keep your powder dry. Yeah, Keith, you're funny, my man. So the thing is that we have a lot to work with today. That's the reason why, and many of, like I said, many of you out there have been start noticing all the orbs in the skies. Those are actually in the States. Your skies are not as your skies are more clear than ours here in BC. In BC, we're all cloudy skies. We can't see nothing out here. I always love to see the orbs. I love to see what's going out in the skies, but they got it all clouded over. So we are not meant to see it. They don't want us to see it. Why? I have no idea. Maybe they're working on something up there that we're not supposed to see, but that means that we have to pay attention to what's underground, because we are having a lot of cleansings right now. There's a lot more floods, more shifting of the earth. So as we in the BC region are going through a lot of shifting of the earth and underground city, underground tunnels, which you guys already know. I talked about that months back, a couple years back, that we are going through those phases. Okay. So a lot of these things have been starting to be cleared up. So I want to let you know this. Don't trust the Vatican. If you think that the Vatican is true in their heart, they're not. They don't give a rat's butt about you. In fact, I'll tell you this: when everybody was expecting an apology for what they did to residential school survivors and that sort of thing, and that sort of thing, the Vatican didn't really care. Now, even though people were down there and say, "Oh, we want to talk to the Pope," that wasn't the real Pope, by the way. That was an actor. The real Pope was gone, because if you noticed, if you guys ever look at some of the old film, old recordings, the real Pope always wore white shoes, white slippers, never wore black army boots. Folks, this other Pope that you guys went to go see, he wore black army boots. And he swung his leg over the side of the chair talking to you. That's not what popes do. So watch your film. Look at these people. Not everybody is who they are. Okay? That's why I'm letting you know this. So, anyways, I want to bring this up because it's important regarding the drones, the angels, and the demons. I'm not going to even give them any type of basically any acknowledgement. But what people are trying to, they're trying to still these, obviously the dark forces people. Those are the I guess you say the leftovers of whoever their baddies. They're still trying their darnest, whatever's left they can do to see if they can scare you. Okay, and they can't scare anybody now because we're above that. We're better than that. We don't need to deal with them. And that's a good thing, right? Let's see here. That's good. I'm glad it's working. So, anyways, let you know about this part here. I hope you guys had a great Boxing Day. I did talk about this earlier. This is coming. Actually, Boxing Day is today. Now, I want to talk about the history of Boxing Day because most people may not realize. Let me bring around this one. Hang on a second here, guys. I got a story about the Boxing Day, which is going to be interesting for you that you may not know. Some of you may think, "Oh, Boxing Day means you throw out your boxes after the day you're done doing your Christmas stuff." No, it's not. So let's do this. I'm going to bring this up and over. What is Boxing Day? Okay. The lords and aristocrats would give their servants Christmas boxes filled with leftovers and small gifts after the parties, leading to the name Boxing Day. That means food scraps. Okay. That's what they did. It wasn't as nice as you think it was. Not all of them were nice that way. The European tradition, let's take some coffee here. My Q. Not bad for cupping. My Q cup. And anyways, the European tradition of giving money and other gifts to those in need or in service positions have been dated to the Middle Ages, but the exact origin is unknown, and it may refer to the alms for the poor box, placed in the name the narthex of the Christian churches to collect donations for the poor. The tradition may come from a custom in the late Roman and early Christian era, wherein alms boxes placed in churches were used to collect special offerings tied to the feast of the Saint Stephen. Now, which in the Western Christian churches falls in the same day as Boxing Day. Now, the second day of the Christ's Christmas tide, I'm not sure if that was tied as in laundry. Just kidding. On this day, it is a customary in the some locations for the alms boxes to be opened and distributed to the poor. Okay, as I mentioned before, I'm sure you guys are sure some of the movies you see here, alms for the poor. The Oxford English Dictionary gives the earliest attestation from the Britain in 1743, defining it is as the day after Christmas Day and saying traditionally on this day, tradespeople, employees, etc., would receive presents or gratuities Christmas box from their customers or employers. Now, the term Christmas box dates back to the 17th century and among the other things meant. Okay, so it means, let's see here, a present or gratuity given at a Christmas in the Great Britain, usually confined to gratuities given to those who are supposed to have a vague claim upon the donor for the services rendered to him or her as one of the general public by whom they are employed and paid, or as customer of their legal employer, the undefined theory being that is that they have done offices for this person for which he has not directly paid them. Some direct acknowledgement is becoming at Christmas. Now, in Britain, it was a custom for a tradesman to collect Christmas boxes of money or presents on the first weekday after Christmas as thanks for good service throughout the year. This is mentioned in Samuel Pepys' diary entry for the 19th of December, 1663. This custom is linked to the older British tradition in which the servants of the wealthy were allowed the next day to visit their families, since they would have had to serve their masters on Christmas Day. Do you hear that word? Service their masters. Okay, their forced employment. The employers would give each servant a box to take home containing gift bonuses and sometimes leftover food scraps. Until the late 20th century, there continued to be a tradition among many in the UK to give at Christmas gift, usually cash to vendors, although not a Boxing Day, but as many would not work on the day. Okay. Boxing Day is celebrated in many European countries, including Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Finland, Germany, Hungary, and Italy. And Boxing Day, the day after Christmas, is celebrated on December 26th and is also known as the St. Stephen's Day, which is considered the second day of Christmas. The holiday originated, I didn't know it was a holiday. Let's see. Yeah. So basically it originated, where am I, 26? I moved this thing and it moved so fast. Okay. Originated, where are you? Okay. Boxing Day is not entirely clear, but there are several theories. Gifts for servants. The upper class would give servants Christmas boxes filled with leftovers and gifts after Christmas dinners and festivities, alms boxes. Okay, which basically alms for the poor. They haven't given hardly anything, even coal. The upper class would give servants Christmas boxes filled with leftovers and small gifts. And after the festivities, and the churches would collect alms boxes of donations from the parishioners and give them to the poor on the day after Christmas. The priests would get the best food, and the rest would get the leftovers. British naval ships would seal a box of money at the start of a long voyage, and at the end, the priests would open the boxes and donate the money to those in need. In the Netherlands, Boxing Day is known as the Tweede Kerstdag and is spent eating leftovers with family. Okay. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. I'm sure you guys would love that sort of story. The remaining of Boxing Day, most people don't even know that. Right? Says Jay and Nikki says, it's been a long time since I've heard that info about Boxing Day. Thank you, Derek, for sharing it. You're most welcome. Most welcome. It's Keith. You can't be a pope because popes can't fart. That's right. Okay, what can I say? Popes can't fart. And they're not supposed to fart. They're old farts. Okay. So I wanted to share that with you. I found it was vitally important. And also, let's go back up here. Bump, bump, bump. Booted? You buggers. You booted me. That's 4 times already. I got booted Facebook. Facebook's listening to what I'm saying and they don't like it. Not my show, but on my page there, I got the boot. They just dropped me. Okay, let's talk about you buggers. You did it again. See, they're kicking me out. Nope, not accepted. Nope, can't do this. Nope. So you see my screen. I got a thing here, and if you guys on YouTube, you know that what I'm doing. They're trying to avoid me. So my screen's now has gone blank. They're making sure I don't see it. Oh well, to heck with them. Yeah, so we did talk about the Boxing Day, and where is it? I got a message from someone here. Okay, you guys remember the past here about it's say December the 9th. I'll go review this for a moment. Some of you guys may not want to like to see this, but we need to do this. Okay. Donald Trump actually said, "It was a pleasure to have dinner the other night with Governor Justin Trudeau of the great state of Canada. I look forward to seeing the governor again soon so that we may continue our depth in talks on the tariffs and the trade, and the results of which will truly truly spectacular for all DJT, Donald John Trump." Okay. So, and I thought it was interesting. Okay. Oh, go backwards. And then you can see there's your drones. They're useful to bring McDonald's. That's what they're going to do. I don't think so. So he said, great state of Canada is stunned as the finance minister resigns or was fired from her position by Governor Justin Trudeau. Her behavior was totally toxic and not all conducive to making deals with are good for the very unhappy citizens of Canada. She will not be missed. Now, when he said that, he's right. Now, what I understood in this whole scenario, the reason why he didn't force her to quit, she quit for a reason because she wants to be the next prime minister. She wants to lead the Liberals. So she's going to go up against Trudeau. And then you're going to have Carney, who's actually, not a finance minister, but they want him to be as a finance minister, take over her job, but he can't because the reason why he cannot, because Carney is not a politician, but he's also as the head of the bankers, the large bankers, and he was also, the financial advisor for the World Economic Forum, because his job was to help them take money away from our country, as well as other countries. So I wouldn't trust Carney as you think. Now, it's funny how the word Carney means clown, like carnival. So be very careful, folks. Don't trust everything you see. Okay, watch carefully. Yeah. Next. Breaking is a completely illegal psychotic order. The deeply conflicted, corrupt, biased, and incompetent acting Justice Juan Merchan has completely disrespected the United States Supreme Court and its historic decision on the immunity. But even without immunity, this illegitimate case is nothing but a rigged hoax. Merchan, who is a radical partisan, wrote an opinion that is knowingly unlawful, goes against our Constitution, and if allowed to stand, would be the end of the presidency as we know it. And if Merchan has so little respect for the Constitution that he is keeping in place and an illegal gag order on me, your president and president-elect, just so I cannot expose his and his family's disqualifying and illegal conflicts. Ooh. Okay. It's hard to see. I am the only political opponent in American history not allowed to defend myself. A despicable First Amendment violation. Marchand took the Manhattan DA's witch hunt that, according to all legal scholars, including Jonathan Turley, Al Honig, Andy McCarthy, Alan Dershowitz, Greg Jarrett, David Rifkin, Elizabeth Price Foley, Katie and Andy Cherkansky, Paul. Man, well, okay. Look, you guys can read that part. It's such fine print. It's hard to see that. But anyways, he just basically make America great again. Let's go further. It's hard to see. Oh yes, I remember this one. Hang on. Let's go back. Breaking. In completely illegal, psychotic order, the deeply conflicted, corrupt, biased, and complete acting justice. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's bigger. There we go. Someone else decided to downsize my picture. That's the reason why it's so different. So let's go back here. Chernesky, Paul Inzgracia, and many others in the non-existent case barred by the statute of limitations and should have never been brought, and through his fraud and misconduct given as the resemblance of life, cap in quote quotations, which deranged Jack Smith was sent packing. Okay. Back to the Hague after losing all of his politically manufactured cases against me. Marchand, who is so far and even more corrupt than Smith in his fight for my hopeless political opponents, just cannot let go of his charade. It is because of his conflicts and relations that he keeps breaking the law. This has to stop. It is time to end the lawfare once and for all, and so we can come together as one nation and make America great again. Now, one thing I want to bring up is this one here is kind of funny. It says, no one can answer why we subsidize Canada to the tune of over $100 trillion a year. There's $100 million a year. Makes no sense. Many Canadians want Canada to become the 51st state. They would save massively on taxes and military protection. I think it is a great idea, 51st state. Now, he's hinting to you guys. Reason why I'm bringing this up, because we already are the 51st state. It was signed already. Okay. Trump signed it. And we are under 51st. We've actually recognized the 51st state because we've already merged with the United States, Canada, Mexico, as well as New Zealand and Australia and a few other countries. So we've already merged, but it has not been announced in public. But this is going to be announced in after 2025, around April of next year, 2025. So they're throwing a few things out there to see what your thoughts are. My wife was really upset about this. She didn't like to see. No, we're not going to be in America. No, I don't want. What people are putting out there to make you think that Canada's going to get worse. It's not. It's going to get better. Now, we all see that. This is called the Panama Canal, right? And every square meter of the Panama Canal belongs to Panama and will continue to belong to the Panama, according to the president of Panama response to Trump's threats. But guess what? Welcome to the United States Canal. It doesn't belong to Panama. It belongs to the United States. They got it. So that was done a long time ago. Okay. Here's the best wishes of says Merry Christmas to all, including to the wonderful soldiers of China who are lovingly but illegally operating the Panama Canal, where we lost 38,000 people in its building 110 years ago, always making certain that the United States puts in billions of dollars in repair money, but will have absolutely nothing to say about anything. Also to Governor Justin Trudeau of Canada, whose citizens' taxes are far too high. But if Canada was to become our 51st state, their taxes would be cut more than 60%. and their businesses would immediately be doubled in size, and they would be militarily protected like no other country anywhere in the world. Likewise to the people of Greenland, which is needed by the United States of national security purposes, and who want the U.S. to be there, and we will. Next, part 2. Whoops. And it says, Merry Christmas to radical left lunatics who are constantly trying to obstruct our court system and our elections. We're always going after the great citizens and patriots of the United States, but in particular, their political opponent, me. And capital letters, ME. They know that their only chance of survival is getting pardons from a man who has absolutely no idea what he's doing. Also, to the 37 most violent criminals who killed, raped, and plundered like virtually no one before them, and were just given incredibly a pardon by sleepy Joe Biden. I refuse to wish a Merry Christmas to those lucky souls, but instead we will say, go to HE. You know what? We had the greatest election in the history of our country. A bright light is now shining over the USA, and in 26 days, here we go, guys. In 26 days, we will make America great again. Merry Christmas. Okay? 26 days, which is the 20th of January. And he also got a message. I just left Wayne Gretzky, and the great one, as he is known in ice hockey circles. I said, Wayne, why don't you run for Prime Minister of Canada, soon to be known as the Governor of Canada? You would win easily. You wouldn't even have to campaign. He had no interest, but I think the people of Canada should start a draft Wayne Gretzky movement. It would be so much fun to watch. There you go, Wayne Gretzky.
See, I've been what's going on out there.
Fallen angels still tricking people, I see. First of all, they trick you into thinking that they're angels, because that's not what they are. Quick history lesson. The word angels, or the term fallen angels, the watchers, all came with a religious context behind it. The Sumerians, the Anunnaki, the extraterrestrial gods that aren't really gods, they're just from another planet, they're more evolved, thousands and thousands of years more evolved than us. That when they came to Earth to look for their goal, that they needed to fix their atmosphere, they decided that the work was too hard. So what should we do? Since they're geniuses and such avant-garde, they decided to mix their DNA with that of a bipedal hominid on this planet to create a worker race, a slave race for them. And that is what they did. And the term Anunnaki means those who from the heavens came to Earth. It's a blanket term. It just means extraterrestrials. Then, thousands and thousands of years later, when religions came into place, the Hebrew religion and everything else after that, that's when they decided to demonize everybody, give them other names. Angel is not even the correct term for them. So you have been tricked into thinking that they are angels or fallen angels and watchers. But the original stories tell you the truth. So the only people here that have been tricked are the people that have been tricked by their own religions. Because the Sumerian scriptures come thousands of years, they predate all of your stuff. So the term angels and fallen angels isn't even correct. Now ask yourself, why did your religion trick you? That is the better question to ask.
Think about that one. I wanted to share that with you guys. Now, do I believe her? Yes. She's a great researcher. I've watched her work. I was quite impressed with what she does. If you want to find anything more about her, let me know, and I'll pass you on information regarding her. She's a major, deep researcher, and she knows exactly what she's talking about. She's proven it. She's making people, I could say, open their eyes more to listen. So yeah, I was very impressed with her work, and she's right from her research, because it's going to change things. Pardon my burp here, inside burp. Okay, So, what do you guys think of that? All the little bit of writings that our commander in chief has shared with you this evening was pretty cool. Yeah, one of the Gordon's talks. Yeah, that's exactly right. Let's see here, and there's one more here. Hang on a second. See if I can bring that up on her because she brought her. This came up just today when I was talking about this yesterday. Hang on a second. We'll bring her up again.
You guys remember when the Vatican updated its protocol on how to deal with supernatural entities a while back, right? And we were all like, what new supernatural entities are there? What's going on? We all thought it was a little bit awkward, right? It was bizarre. Now, Pope Francis on Christmas Eve is to open 5 sacred portals. They're doors, but they're calling them portals. Each door is located in one of the basilica in the Vatican City. Then he's also live streaming the opening of the tomb of St. Peter, which a lot of people are saying he's opening up the tomb of Lucifer. But to my knowledge, there is no tomb of Lucifer. Like, he's an immortal, right? Am I wrong? But he is opening up the tomb of St. Peter. Why? I don't know. I have no idea. I can't even find the information on what kind of ceremony it is and why they would be opening up this tomb. But my mind keeps on going back to the updated protocols of how to deal with the supernatural, right? At the same time, we're seeing legions of orbs, of UFOs in the sky, which to me, when I saw it, I personally got the download that these are divine beings. And if you look at them, they look just like what Ezekiel described as being throne angels. There is a super category of super angels that are called the seraphim, cherubim, and throne angels. Now, we always thought that the cherubims were like the little baby angels from St. Valentine's Day, shooting arrows with love. Not really. The cherubim drive the throne angels, and the throne angels are called the chariots of God. They protect the throne of God, the will of God, and they are sentient beings. So these are like chariots, crafts, but they're sentient. They're described as almost being spiritual perfection. And the seraphim, same thing, high ranking like them. These are all like the mightiest of the angels of God. I call it like the army of God. These orbs are all in the sky, and in my head, I'm like, something's going down. It's sounding just like the story of when Lucifer was rebelling and wanted to create his own government up in the heavens because he was jealous that God preferred Jesus over him. It's giving that vibe. So legions of orbs, legions of angels, new protocol for the supernatural, portals being opened with ceremonies and rituals. I can't be the only one to think that this stuff is all connected. Who's coming out of these portals? Is this why the army, the legion, is here to stop whatever's coming out? I feel like something's going down. See, on Christmas morning, may the odds be ever in your favor, because if he's doing this stuff on Christmas Eve, Christmas morning, there should be an update. Right?
So what I had done, someone sent me a video of the opening of St. Peter's tomb, or his ossuary, and it was actually sealed in concrete first, a concrete seal. They opened it up in different, like 3 or 4 different levels, and then there was some sort of a transparent type of cover over his body in the tomb, and they were opening that part up, and I thought, okay, interesting. So I'm really getting more engrossed in wanting to see what's going on and what does it look like inside. And some stupid idiot, this is what they do. They like to do cliffhangers. They do a close-up on it and they turn off the film. Why? Because to see how much they can get away with it. That's how they do it. They like to play the game of making you think that you have to follow. Now, here's one I'm going to bring you guys. This is an old one. This is actually the shocking moment of tragedy near struck the opening of the Holy Door in 1975 with Pope Paul the Sixth. I want you to see this one, okay? So here we go. Something you guys, something I've got. I'm going to play you guys this one. Watch again.
The door is moved away, and Holy Year has begun.
Fortunately, he was unarmed. Here's the crazy part, guys. Another CGI in 1975. Another CGI in 1975. That's the way it works. Sucks. Okay, here we go. War Report. No, that's not the one. Yes, it is. War Report. Okay, you guys need to see this. Please like and share this one. Our focus in this phase, this is actually coming from good people out here. In this phase, our focus should be on everything we want for the future, on all the things we already know, see, and actively experience. These are exciting times. The years have passed as we are definitely at total turning point. In this story, there has been so many events that no one could have seen before and has been up and down, but always moving forward. We have left the phase of interpretations, of decodings, and now we have already entered the disclosure phase. DIDDY, UAP, UFOs, Elon speaks openly about things that were only conspiracy theories for a long time. Just like Trump, the media can no longer remain silent over the many things, and it's now coming from all sides. Okay. These are no longer smaller things, small things, but huge developments considering where we were just a year ago. That's why the period until January the 20th is so important. As we have often mentioned, all the dominoes are ready. The stage is set. We don't know what we'll see or exactly when and how things will happen. Only that in recent years, we have never had a clearer time frame in the mind than now. Now, in fact, it is have been made as far as despite all of the circumstances of all the chaos and all the lies and all about the pain we have been through, there is no way back to either side. That should make us very happy patriots. We have learned that nothing is as it seems, that things often turn out differently than expected, but that we have always played an essential role in it. So let's see together what is still to come and how it will turn out, and look forward to it at all. And to go to the next step is, this is the Weapons of Mass Awakening. Okay, so you're going to see here what they had written on there. You can pause that when you look through it. It's important, guys. This is what they've been working on. And then the next thing we're going to do is talk about, let's see here. We're going to talk about a few more things. Okay. So basically, this coming of this year now, what I understood, it's going to be a very awakened year for January, and we're just coming out of the Boxing Day. And so now like I said before, what I had seen was we're going to go through a lot of angelic awakenings, major angelic awakenings. A lot of us are going to be getting visitations from spirit, a good way, very good way. And those are beginning to go through awakenings now. Actually, what I have done, I've actually met a new client today, did a reading for the first time for this one client. And she has herself is going to go through some major changes, like positive awakenings. And it's not just her alone. Like I said, I've actually met a lot of people. I would say a good 20 or so this last couple of months, and every one of them have said they don't know why. They've noticed the shift, the changes, and not everyone are into professional fields, right? So they're noticing the shifting of their energies. And myself, for example, I've been having a lot of dreams. I'm having at least 6 dreams a night, and which I've never remembered all of them. Like I don't remember actually maybe 1 or 2 dreams at a time, like say 5-6 years ago. Now I'm getting dream after dream after dream after dream. Why? Everything is important. They're symbolic. Not everything is what you see. When anybody has a dream about something, doesn't always mean exactly what you're dreaming about. Because like someone say, well, I could be waking up and say they saw themselves doing something in some place, going somewhere, and yet they're thinking, okay, I'm not going that direction. Why am I being shown this place? It has nothing to do with where you're going, as where your spiritual self is going. Okay. So we are already in the age of Aquarius. This is basically what this is. Okay. 2024 is age of Aquarius, has always been and always will still be up until the end of January. And so of next year. And then we're still going to go through even more awakenings because it hasn't even finished. Plus, we went through the time shift. We went through the Lions Gate portal, which is the 888. Okay, 3 8s, and that is an awakening for all of us. And I want to do is bring this one piece up here. Where am I here? Okay, let's do this first. Okay, let's talk about this part here, the 888, and why, because this is basically what it means for all of us. In numerology, the angel number 888 is associated with the abundance, success, and financial prosperity. Okay, it symbolizes leadership, manifestation, wealth, achievement, balance, material wealth, and goal manifestation. Have you noticed everything is all to do with your financial status? Or basically, it's encouraging you to be financially guided and financially stable. Okay, and so basically, some say that the seeing of the number 888 you're doing a good job. Abundance is coming your way. It's time to be authentic and speak your mind. Some of you actually are shy out there. It's time to let others learn their lessons, and your efforts to achieve financial stability are about to bear fruit. Okay. And the number 8 is considered beneficial in numerology because it carries a vibration of positivity and expansion. Now, I'm going to do this number here and do a QAG. Just for some reason, I bring this one up. We're here. And let's see if it's anything in there at all. Ding. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yes, there is. Okay. I'm going to bring this one in. So it shows me here. Oops. Where are we here? My room. Uh-oh. Derek, what'd you do? Okay. Nope. Oh, here it is. Did I just cut people out? No way. No, you guys are still alive. What the heck happened? I was doing this. This is what happens. Stupid stuff happens. I start something and then... Okay, let's go back here. Here we go. Okay, I didn't lose you guys. Yay! Let's go back here. Let's stop that one. Let's stop that one. Okay, let's do better. Huh. Why is this happening? Okay, let me check this again. There we go. That's why. People don't like me to separate from the room. Okay. So this is what your 888. And it says here, thank you, Kim. Deal made, clowns out, strings out. We took control. Iran next to Q. So basically, that's what's happening coming up next. They're going after some baddies in some of the areas. This is called the Q codes. Interesting. Now, it may not mean much to you, but it sometimes, I forgot to share that with you in the screen, folks. But yeah, it's there's something here that they'll be working on later on. Okay, I didn't lose you guys. Yeah, good. I didn't lose you guys in either chat room. This was what's going on here was YouTube is bouncing back and forth and was skipping me out. I'm going like, what the heck's going on here? Like they were dropping my wall, and then I went back and then they do that. Cool. Okay. Okay, let's go back here. Yeah, thank you, Travis. And those are Anzi, Geisha, and Inez. Linda, Joyce, thank you for joining us. Jesse, and all those. Also, Carla and Jill, and who else we got here? Corlin, Ernie, Carla. My wife is in the room. Hey, Keith, Corlin. Okay, Bonnie, Nikki, Jordan, Eileen, Star. Nice to see you guys. Keith, who else? Clark, Teresa, Jill. Cool. I'm meeting a lot of people. Good thing. Nice to meet you all, guys. We don't go easily. Good. Yeah, you guys don't go easily. So, like I said before, this is what I'm trying to share with you guys. A lot of great information that we need to share with you. What's happening in this area. I'm going to find out what else we're going to bring up here for you too. Let's go to the bottom. And there is a young lady that I know. Haven't met her in person, but she's quite the person who I was very impressed by her work. She is a fighter. And I want to share her story about her, Kellyanne Wolf. Now, Kellyanne Wolf, I'm going to get her on my show one day and bring her in. Kellyanne Wolf actually has been a fighting patriot, Canadian patriot, right from the very beginning during the COVID times. And she was with the truckers convoy. That girl, she's gone through so many arrests in her life, and she stood up for the people. And so she's got a new page called My Canadian Freedom. And I want to share this one with you guys here. So she says here, in recent months, I have addressed the growing influence of racist political actors and genocidal states that operate with impunity, relying on the support of their populations to carry out horrific acts. During this time, I've come across several individuals who exemplify the effectiveness of state indoctrination in fostering public unrest, racism, both direct and systemic, and even civil wars. She also says, the assertion made by this racist white Canadian man is not only absurd, but also deeply rooted in ignorance and a lack of understanding of history and the complete fabric of Canadian identity. To suggest that Canadian identity can only be defined by the elements of predominantly white countries in a gross oversimplification and in erasure of the diverse cultures and peoples that have contributed to the nation's development. Firstly, the claim that without white Canadians' colonization, Native Indians would still be running around half naked, fighting with each other, as a prime example of the racist colonial mindset that seeks to diminish and devalue the rich and history of contributions of the Indigenous peoples. This statement ignores the fact that prior to the European contact, Indigenous nations had sophisticated societies, governments, and trade networks that spanned the continent. Many of these societies lived harmony with one another and the environment, developing complex systems of knowledge and resource management that sustained them for thousands of years. Now, furthermore, the argument that the true democracy and the elements of the United States Constitution celebrated the white European men actually stem from the Iroquois Confederacy is a compelling counterpoint to the notion that Western colonization is the sole source of democratic ideals. The Iroquois Confederacy, also known as the Haudenosaunee, I always tongue myself, is a political and union culture of 5 later 6 Native American tribes that predates European arrival in North America, and the Confederacy's governing culture, known as the Great Law of Peace, is believed to have influenced the development of the United States Constitution and its democratic principles. The Great Law of Peace established a system of governance based on consensus, balance of power, and the respect for individual freedoms, are which all hallmarks of modern democratic societies. Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of the United States, is known to have been inspired by the Iroquois Confederacy's democratic model when drafting the Albany of Plan and Union 1754, a precursor of the United States Constitution. Now, the assertion that Canadian identity can only be defined by the elements of predominantly white countries is a narrow-minded and the historical perspective that fails to acknowledge the diverse tapestry of cultures and peoples that have shaped the nations, and by recognizing the significant contributions of Indigenous nations, and such as the Iroquois Confederacy, to the development of the democratic ideals, we can begin to dismantle the racist and colonial narratives that continue to marginalize and erase the experiences of non-white populations of Canada and beyond. The assertion that Canadian tax dollars are collected by Native Indian people is a common misconception that stems from a lack of understanding that the relationship between Indigenous peoples and the Canadian government is in reality. The money allocated as Indigenous communities by the government is not a form of taxation, but rather fulfillment of treaty obligations and a recognition of Indigenous rights. Now, before she goes further, this is my comment on this. It is Prime Minister Harper that had said, in his own words, that the Indigenous people were using our tax dollars to pay for the First Nations and the reservations. It is not true. Okay, Harper even said that. I watched him and listened to his recording, so he's full of crap. Firstly, it is essential to understand that Indigenous peoples have inherent rights as the original inhabitants of the land now known as Canada. Now, these rights were recognized by the British Crown through treaties, which were agreements between the Crown and Indigenous nations that outlined the terms of their relationship in exchange for the sharing of their lands and resources. Indigenous nations were promised various forms of compensation and support, including financial assistance, education, and healthcare. The money allocated to the Indigenous communities by the Canadian government is a fulfillment of these treaty obligations and recognition of the nation-to-nation relationship between Indigenous peoples and the Crown. Now, this funding is not a form of taxation, rather, but a legal and moral obligation that the government must uphold as part of the commitment to reconciliation on and the honoring of the Indigenous rights. Moreover, it is too crucial note that Indigenous peoples in Canada face significant social economic challenges due to centuries of colonialism, dispossession, and systemic racism. The allocation of funds to Indigenous communities is a necessary step towards addressing these historical injustices and providing Indigenous peoples with the resources and support needed. The allocation of Canadian tax dollars towards funding overseas conflicts, such as those involving Israel and Ukraine, has been a contentious issue, particularly when considering the pressing domestic challenges faced by Canadians. As the country grapples with the economic fallout of COVID-19, the pandemic, and the ongoing housing crisis, many argue that the public funds should be prioritized to address the urgent needs of Canadians, especially those who are most vulnerable. In the recent years, the Canadian government has provided significant financial support to the Ukraine, including a $120 million loan in 2021 to support the economic reforms, and a $500 million bilateral loan in 2022 to assist with the country's efforts to defend against Russian aggression. Additionally, Canada has contributed millions of dollars in military and equipment to the Ukraine, with the commitment of over $1 billion in assistance since the start of the conflict in 2014. Similarly, Canada has provided financial support to Israel, including millions of dollars in annual development assistance and military cooperation. While the exact figures are not always disclosed, the Canadian government has faced criticism for some quarters for its ongoing support of Israel, particularly in the light of concerns about human rights violations and the impact of the Israel-Palestinian conflicts on civilians. Meanwhile, tens of thousands of Canadians are experiencing homelessness and are at risk of dying on the streets this winter due to the worsening housing crisis and the economic fallout and the pandemic. Now, according to the Canadian Observatory on Homelessness, approximately 235,000 Canadians experience homelessness each year, with this number expected to rise due to the impact of COVID-19 on the economy and the lack of affordable housing. Critics argue that the government of Canada, Canadians should be prioritized addressing these domestic challenges by relocating funds from the overseas conflicts to support housing initiatives, mental health services, and poverty reduction programs. And by investing in these areas, the government could help alleviate the suffering of vulnerable Canadians and work towards building a more equitable and just society. While it is essential for Canada to play a role in promoting peace, stability, and abroad, it is equally important to ensure that the needs of its citizens are met, and by striking a balance between its international obligation and domestic responsibilities, the Canadian government can work towards creating a better future for all. Now, the Canadian Palestinian protesters, like many other immigrant communities in Canada, are often just as generationally Canadian as their white counterparts. Now, many Palestinian Canadians have lived in the country for multiple generations, contributing to the nation's cultural, economic, and social fabric. It is essential to recognize that being Canadian is not defined by one's ethnicity or country or origin, but rather by a shared commitment to the values and principles that underpin Canadian society. The generational racism had been perpetuated by the Canadian state regarding the narrative that Arab people are terrorists, and a prime example of how successful the state can be in creating useful idiots who blindly accept and propagate these baseless and harmful stereotypes. This narrative, fueled by Islamophobic Islamophobia and xenophobia has been carefully crafted and disseminated through various channels, including media, political rhetoric, and government policies to instill fear and suppression towards Arabic communities. Now, the state's role in manufacturing this narrative can be traced back to the post 9/11 era, during which the Canadian government, like many other Western nations, adopted a more aggressive stance towards national security and counterterrorism. Now, this shift is policy was often accomplished by a heightened scrutiny of Arab and Muslim communities, leading to widespread profiling, surveillance, and discrimination. Now, a notable example of this is the passing of the Anti-Terrorism Act in 2001, which granted Canadian law enforcement and intelligence agencies, CSIS, expanded powers to investigate, detain, and prosecute individuals suspected of terrorism-related activities. While the act was intended to enhance national security as it contributed to the stigmatization of Arab and Muslim communities, as were disproportionately targeted and affected by these measures. Now, moreover, the media has played a significant role in perpetuating the stereotype of Arabs as terrorists, and often through sensationalized reporting and the overrepresentation of negative stories involving Arab individuals or groups. This skewed portrayal has helped to reinforce a false narrative, and that Arab people are inherently prone to violence, extremism, and further fueling public fear and autonomously towards these communities. The success of the state in creating useful idiot lies and its ability to manipulate public opinion and exploit existing prejudices to advance its agenda by perpetuating the myth of Arab people as terrorists, then the state has effectively diverted away attention from its own feelings and injuries and injustices, so to say, while simultaneously justifying its actions in the name of national security. However, it crucial is to recognize that this narrative is not only unfounded, it is also incredibly damaging to Arab communities who have suffered from increased discrimination, hate crimes, and social exclusion as a result in it. It is the responsibility of all Canadians to challenge these stereotypes, hold the state accountable for its role in perpetuating them, and work towards building a more inclusive and equitable society that values the contribution of its members, regardless of its, where was I here? Oh, I skipped too quickly. I hit my screen and hit too hard. Okay. Moreover, the confrontation of terrorism with Islam. Okay, where are we going here? Go back. Okay, the state manufactured narrative that all Muslims are terrorists and a baseless and dangerous and divisive falsehood that it has been perpetuated to serve the interests of oppression governments. Those who blindly parrot these narratives not only contribute to the spread of misinformation, but also become complicit in the ongoing marginalization and persecution of Muslim communities worldwide. Now, the assertion that all Muslims are terrorists is a gross generalization that ignores the vast diversity of beliefs, practices, and experiences within the Muslim community. With over 1.8 billion Muslims worldwide, representing a wide range of ethnicities and nationalities and cultural backgrounds, it is absurd to suggest that entire religious group can be defined by the actions of a small minority of extremisms. Now, moreover, the conflation of terrorism with Islam is a deliberate strategy employed by government to justify that their own aggressive policies and actions, both domestically and abroad, by demonizing Muslims and portraying them as the threats to national security. Now, these governments can more easily garner public support for invasive surveillance, now military intervention, and the erosion of civil liberties, and in the name of combating terrorism. Those who uncritically accept and spread these state manufactured narratives fall to recognize that they are serving the very governments that oppress all people, regardless of the faith or background. Now, by perpetuating the myth of all Muslims are terrorists, they contribute to the climate of fear, suspicion, and the division that ultimately weakens fabric of society and that allows governments to consolidate their power unchecked. It is crucial for individuals to question the sources of the narratives and they consume, and to think critically about the motives behind them. Those who parrot these narratives should be as themselves, if they were to experience the effects of the famine, apartheid, ethnic cleansing, and genocide right here in Canada, would they too be labeled as terrorists for resisting oppression and fighting for their rights? In order to build a more just and equitable world, it is imperative that we challenge the state manufactured narratives that divide us and work towards fostering understanding, empathy, and solidarity across all communities. And only by recognizing our shared community and rejecting the false binaries imposed us by the oppressive government we hope to create a society that values the lives and dignity of all members. Christian nationalists is someone who believes that the United States or any other nation should be defined and governed by Christian principles and values. This ideology often promotes Christianity as the dominant religion, integrating Christian symbols, rhetoric, and beliefs into the political arena. However, Christian nationalism represents a political exploitation of the Christian faith, contradicting the core tenets of Christ's teachings. The worldwide ignorance among Western Christians regarding this issue is a significant concern. I don't want to go further with that. It's so long. But anyways, if you ever want to read this, it's on my wall here. And this is the young lady here. She's interesting. Like, she has a page, Kellyanne Wolf, and you can look her up, and she's worth your while to read and to, if you're interested in what she's basically, I watched her work. Okay. She's been out there trying to protect our rights and freedoms, especially for the truckers. And so that's why I wanted to share a little bit of her writing. So she's actually showing you the basis of all nationalities, all people across the land that need to know the truth. And that's what she's doing right now. She's letting you know whether it's Indigenous, whether it's Muslim, whether it's you name it, Ukraine, Russia, all of them. She's pointing out to everybody, all nations, everyone across the world, that, we should never judge anybody. My mother used to say when I was a kid growing up, anybody who moves here from another country is considered as a Canadian, and they're welcomed here. As long as you're not here to cause trouble and bring your military war attitude into this country and start causing trouble. This is what you call a peacekeeping country. Canada was actually known as a peacekeeping country. It always has been. That's why we always apologize. That's why we always kept saying, I'm sorry, because we were trying not to look for the way of confronting people in a very negative way. We always like to be there for them supportively, no matter what race, color, or creed. And so if you ever want to read about Kellyanne Wolf's work, she's phenomenal. I really do enjoy her writings, her sayings. She's on TikTok. She's all over Facebook. And you can possibly might see some of her work on YouTube. Be worth your while. Kellyanne Wolf, WHOLFE. Sorry, not WOLFE, Kellyanne Wolf. And and she's her interests. I mean, all she's trying to do, get my mic. All she's trying to do is to show you and share with you, and not necessarily much as her beliefs, but she's showing you that we're equal. We're all equal. And it's the government's fault to create all of these fear-mongering beliefs. They want you to fight amongst each other. This is what the government does. They want you to look for an argument to fight. They look for, and that's why they brought in CSIS. I remember the time where I had a client come in my house years ago, where this there was a young lady who was a counselor. She was actually a mental health counselor, and she had this young man come and see her, and she was the counselor for this young man, and he was improving quite well. His family is from Turkey. Now, the time that Prime Minister Harper was in active as Prime Minister, not Trudeau, but it was actually Harper. And Harper, at one time, there was a conflict that they had to close off the country of Turkey. No one's allowed to even travel to Turkey because they believed that Turkey was becoming militarized, and they were trying to, whatever, I think it's something to do with ISIS and ISIS. So what they had developed was someone in council, in the chambers, in the political, in the Canadian chambers, said, we cannot bring out the CSIS unless there's any active war. So it had to be. So what they did, a month later, they got this young man here in British Columbia, here in Vancouver, her client. He got worked up over here. He actually was told that he was not allowed to go to Turkey. And he was pretty upset. Like, why can't you leave Turkey? I want to go home. I want to go back to my family. His father lived in Turkey. His mother lived in Montreal. Now his mother actually was, she was also mentally unhealthy. Like she had psychosis, and he also too had psychosis. So it came from on his mother's sideline. But he knew, as long as he took his medication, he's fine. He's very peaceful. He's not a troubled person. He's doing fine. And because he's from Turkey, I think it's possibly it could be the Muslim part of him. I'm not sure if it was Muslim part, but I know he had an identification of being from Turkey. But anyways, he wanted to go back to Turkey. So what he did had happened to him. He actually told his counselor that he met up with two plainclothes officers here in Vancouver, BC, and told him, well, if you want to go back to Turkey, you tell Prime Minister Harper, you tell Harper what you think about him. And here, you take this gun and you take this material, like it was actually some sort of a gray and white scarf. You wear that and you get down there to Ottawa and you tell him how you feel and you want to go back to Turkey. Now, they convinced him. Now, he was not a troublemaker. He was just upset because they wouldn't let him go back to Turkey. So he hitchhiked all the way across Canada, and he got to Ottawa. And then he met a man at the cenotaph. There was actually a soldier at the cenotaph, and he wanted a way to get in. Now, he had a rifle, but it was a rusty rifle. Okay, it wasn't even, there's no bullets in it. It was a rusty rifle. And he told this one guy that was a military officer who was standing at the cenotaph, and he said to him that he was going to go into Ottawa, into the parliamentary building. And apparently there was a bit of a scuffle, and he knocked the soldier down, or the person that was standing. I guess he was actually standing there, like in the soldier's position, where I can't recall again. Statue, like standing there in a position of being a soldier holding his rifle, like to protect the Ottawa parliamentary building. But for some reason he knocked him down and the guy was unconscious. Now, he didn't die, he was unconscious. So then he ran off, and he seen this black car pulling in or towards Ottawa. Now, by that time, there was a film, and she's telling me all about this. There was actually a film, and I watched the film. CBC, their helicopter were flying above the Ottawa parliamentary building, and they actually showed an up-close version of a female and a male person leaning on their knees over the soldier, and one lady put her hand on the soldier's mouth and leaned over him. Cupped her hand over his mouth and leaned over him, like as if she's suffocating him. Okay? This is all a plan. This is a setup. Then, as they're focusing on that, then the helicopter was showing the film, the view, of him going to this black car, gets in the black car, and the black car pulls up to the front of the Ottawa Parliamentary Building. Now, inside of the Parliamentary Building were the RCMP officers. They all have their guns on themselves now. They're not supposed to be anywhere carrying guns in Parliamentary Building. It's supposed to be completely no guns. It's supposed to be put aside. There's supposed to be a special case put there, and they're not supposed to walk around guns. But the RCMP had their guns on their hips. There's cameras on both sides. CBC, CBTV, all those global were all there in the Parliamentary Building on Parliamentary buildings, standing on each side of the pillars, waiting for the boy to come in through the door. This is all to happen, folks. This is basically, listen to the lineup, listen to the setup. He ran into the door, through the door of Parliamentary Building, and he says, "Where's Harper? I need to find Harper." And they said he's down there. He ran down there. Now the cops, seeing the man with a rifle and his scarf, didn't pull out their gun and say, "Put it down." They just stood there and watched him go run by with his rifle. Okay. Now, what happened to Harper? He was upstairs on the second floor hiding in a closet. Now, there was a man or somebody, someone's voice yelled out, "Put down the gun, put down the gun. Put the gun down." But the cameras are not on the young man. Someone said, "Turn the cameras off. Turn the cameras off." But the audio was on. Then they heard bang, 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 pow, 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 pow. 33 shots rang out. 33 shots. Not 3, not 2, not 4. 33 shots. Guns from all ends. Killed them all at the same time. A rusty shotgun with no bullets does not kill 50 people. And he was not looking for Harper to shoot him. He said, he kept on yelling out loud, "I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home." And they told him to put the gun down, but they killed him. Harper was upstairs. Now, the guy who they celebrated said that he defended by shooting the young man wasn't retired RCMP. He actually was a member of the cabinet. Now he was not carrying a pistol, but he had to run upstairs 2 floors to his desk, run back downstairs to get his gun and shoot the man. But the gun does not show 33 shots. It's a pistol. 8 at the max, but 33 shots. They shot and killed him. Basically, I call it murder, right? But then later on, they called the mother who lived in Montreal, and they let her know that her son son had died, and whatever had happened, they explained to him that they basically made him as a terrorist. They said he was a terrorist. I know very well he was not a terrorist. He never was. He just wanted to go home. But because Harper refused to open up the airline for him to go home to his father, all they had to say, "Go home," or he could have waited. He could say, "We're not open the airport yet. You can wait." He didn't tell him that. They killed him. Now, they based this young man. They made him a terrorist. They made him the terrorist, which gave League of the CSIS to be active in Canada. This is how it worked. Now, how I know this is because the young lady who actually was my client, CSIS came to see her. And they wanted to see his health record. Okay, her record. Now, those are private. You're not supposed to hand them over to anybody. But because they made it into an international law, and that he was, they made him an active terrorist, and they basically took his I guess his records, and they took him away. Now, before they left, they told her to keep her mouth shut if she knows what's good for her. CSIS even threatened her life and told her to keep her mouth shut. Now, she told me, and I know the truth. But everybody knows the truth because CBC recorded it. It's on film. But guess what? You can't find that film anymore. Somehow it disappeared. But we all watched it on TV. They made a big deal about it on Global. They made a big deal on CBC. Oh, look at this. This young man is going there. He did this, this, and this. He never killed the soldier standing at the cenotaph who was an active duty. Never killed him. But there was actually witnesses that showed a female not given the breath of life to the man. She shoved his hand over his mouth and leaned over him with another man, making sure he never survived. Why? Because he would have been a witness. They made sure that this kid was going to be the terrorist and terrorist of this country. That kid was innocent. I got a feeling that he was innocent, but this was a setup. This is how they do this, folks. And I know very well our commander-in-chief is going to open that file and they're going to expose all those people for what they've done. Because that whole record, that whole file will be opened up. Again, those people that were mixed up with it, we're going to also go bye-bye. So, now you know. Oh, man. And I've shared this story with other people before, but there's so much stuff now is going to be exposed. And like I said before, this is the past. This happened in the past. When Harper was prime minister, he will be exposed as well. And there's going to be things coming out. Folks is going to blow people away. And you guys are going to go like, oh, no way. He's a bad boy. There's so many things that Harper was involved with, even for child pedophile stuff. He was involved with that too. And Harper's going to be, he was here at Pickens Ranch. He was there. He was playing around with the little girls. He was there. There's a lot of witnesses for that too. Laura Lee, long time no see. Love to have you on my show one day. if you're ever around to be busy, you're a busy girl. Okay. Merry Christmas to you, my girl. And yeah. So we have a lot of things going on, folks. We got a lot of spiritual things going on. This is going to be openings of all new things. Again, here's my advice. Give you guys too. Prediction is do not buy anything expensive, like say land, cars, property, house, not until after April 2025, because housing prices and all that was going to drop. It's going to fall, crash, and you have much more. It'll be far more affordable for you. Yeah. RFK Jr. says McDonald will close as of January 20th. Yeah. It's going to be really, really impressive. Just mention the date and time, and I will be there, my friend, as long as I'm not live on my 2 shows. What? Live in your 20 shows? We got to have you in. Got to have you in. We're going to have some fun. I'm pulling people in for that I haven't spoken to in a long time, and it's time now. The Great Awakening, my girl. Time. We all got to do this. So, yeah. So we got a lot of things to talk about as we were just finishing off the night. But, just do. Yeah. What can I say? I'm making a prediction, Laura Lee, you're going to be busier next year. You triple or quadruple your shows. You'll be busy. Busier. Okay. So I hope you guys actually had a great Boxing Day special, and you got a pretty cool thing and find out that your Boxing Day is the way you thought it was not the way it was. People that were very rich, their version of the meaning of Boxing Day was the rich would actually give the poor alms for the poor. They would actually give them scraps for the poor, for the servants. Interesting. Ooh. Yeah, just scrap meat. Here's some leftover sandwich. You can have that. That was Boxing Day. The Europeans were freaking cruel. They thought they were doing something good. I remember when they made bread. It was a law in no one in England. If you were poor, you were not allowed to have a brand new loaf of bread. You know why they call it stone bread? Everybody would say stone bread because your bread actually was ground with stones. And so the people themselves that were making the bread made the best looking bread for the rich people. And then the people that are mid-rich, and then those that are poor got the scraps, which had stone in it. And that's the reason why their teeth got worn down. So You were talking about the UFO drones globally, as well as Pope shenanigans on Christmas 24th. I killed it. Talked about it earlier tonight. We talked about that and the drones and the UFOs. Well, the orbs. Like I said earlier, the orbs. I find that I think they're angels. They're actually, because they were attacking the drones. They were, because the drones were doing something. There was like some were shooting, causing, the drones were actually flying over, and actually some of the drones were actually attacking people. They're attacking farmers and some people down below, coming down, and they're attacking them, and actually the farmers were running into their vehicles or houses, or pulling out their guns and shooting the drones. It was crazy, absolutely nuts. I was watching some of the videos, some people recorded it, and one guy, it was two guys in the field. They saw this drone and they ran out to the field. One guy had a rifle, a shotgun, I think. And and these drones are not small. These drones are the size of trucks. Some are the size of houses, but size of trucks. And this drone came down and was trying to attack these two guys in the field. And the guys were trying to, it was knocking them down or hurting them. So the guy turned around, took his rifle and kept shooting it, and it wouldn't budge. So he threw his rifle. It was still loaded. He loaded again and threw the rifle at the drone on the wheel. It exploded, and the drone crashed onto the ground, and it was nuts. Yeah, you saw the guy shooting the drones. I'm not kidding you. It was nuts. There's like maybe 50 different videos of people shooting drones. It almost looked as if you're at war. Like one guy actually had some other guns. It was nuts. It looked like we were at war. It was crazy. Like, what the hell are they doing out there, and why they're hurting people and doing harm? But I guess that was what you call the false flag. They're trying to create a fear tactic to people. Like, just, they can do whatever they want. And the drones came out of the ocean. Who in the hell's... Here's one thing that really gets me. I talked about this before. Who's controlling these drones and how they're able to control them? Well, number one, there's cameras in these drones from all directions. But who is controlling all the drones? There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of drones all in the sky, all over the world. Okay. Now, the crazy part I talked about before, we could not see the drones here in BC because our skies were always cloudy. Because we had rain here all the time, cloudy, couldn't see anything. And when you did have a sunny day, no drones. Now, mind you, someone said they saw some drones in Vancouver, flying above Vancouver, 3 or 4, but not like they did in New York, not like it did up in Ontario. They're all, and some other players in Colorado and Colorado and Texas. And I think, what did she say? Utah, and the other girl, where is she from? Michigan. So they're flying up above other areas, and as well as across the world, other countries. But in the States, mostly, it's nuts. And Los Angeles too. Yeah. Yeah, so people seen them spraying and took videos. Yeah, what the hell is a spray? What kind of freaking spray is that? I couldn't believe it was actually had chemtrail sprays on Christmas Day here in skies, Thunder Bay. Really? Wow. The chemtrails now are called organic trails. They are trying to clean the air. There's a special unit, people I know of, that they arrested all the people that were making the bad chemtrails, and they arrested them. They're in jail. They're behind bars. They're in Gitmo, because they're actually were arrested for terrorism. And so what they've done is they're doing right now, they're putting organics in these new tanks, and they're spraying the sky. So basically they're trying to clean up the air so people don't have to carry these vents, little ventilators, and you go in your mouth all the time. So people are noticing they're having lesser use of ventilators, and they're getting better oxygen. So not as many people are on oxygen like they used to be. And if there's actually anybody on oxygen, it's because they've got some sort of a virus that was in their system that's still cleansing, hasn't been fixed yet. And you wouldn't believe the amount of UFOs that I have filmed by my house at night in the skies too. Yeah, see, lucky you. You get to see that, Laura Lee. Call me. Call my number, and we'll talk right now. Okay. It was hydroxychloroquine. Yeah, if it is, great. That means good. That means nobody's gonna get sick. I'll give you my number. 3605. Laura Lee, call my number. Let's talk. Megan, we're gonna go over time. Let's talk. I want to get this thing. Talk about this spray in your place. People need to see this and hear this. Talk to me. Can you do it? Let's chat it up. Let the people know. Let our viewers and listeners know. Make it happen. We're on YouTube as well as Facebook Live at the same time, folks. I miss what's up with Wayne G. You did. Okay. I'll give you 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27. Okay. Let's do it. So we're going to get Laura Lee Potvin to come in the show. She's up in Ontario, folks. One of the coolest ladies that I've known. She's also a medium like myself. She's really good, wonderful lady. She's also involved in the paranormal. It's like myself. She's also involved in some of the conspiracy stuff too. She's always likes to see what's going on across this world. Smart young lady, and she's out there. So her and her partners. It's going to be good. So what else we got here? I want to quickly talk about. Let's see. Oh, yes. And I got a birthday gift. Yee-hee. Guess what I got as a birthday gift from a friend. Yes, Canadian Charter Rights and Freedoms. Look at that, guys. Yay. Got the books. So, not one, for the whole library. So, Wayne Gretzky's dark. Yeah. Did you hear the story, what I talked about Wayne Gretzky? Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. Here we go. Okay.
Hello.
We got her.
You got me.
Hey, how long has it been since I actually spoke to you?
Oh my gosh, it's been far too long. Time is speeding up, I swear.
Oh, it's been nuts. Absolutely crazy.
I've been at my new house for almost 5 years.
Have you? Yeah, you have.
Yeah, I have. Mm-hmm.
Wow, crazy.
And on top of that, I still got some activity at my house. Somebody caught an orb on one of our Christmas videos I posted.
Really? You sure it wasn't the
Mm-hmm.
orb that came out of the water?
Out of the water? No, it was in my house. I don't know where it came from. Actually, it's cloudy tonight. I'm outside. I was hoping I could see something, but you would not believe the things I have caught on camera.
I'm looking forward to seeing your stuff that you've actually found on camera. I try to share as much as I can. Like I do, I have a Telegram page, so I share as much as I can on my page here. Got a lot of followers there. We got a lot of viewers. We got about 180,000 viewers on our Telegram page.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
I don't think I got a link to that. You're gonna send me a link.
Yeah. You should get your own Telegram page and set it up. You'd be kicking butt, taking names too. So it does benefit.
I had the time.
Yeah. Well, it's simple, and you can create yourself a group. get people to see what you do, and you can share all your stories through that page. Anything you've ever done?
I'm teaching my first course in March. I got it all set up. It's going to be one night a week for
Cool.
probably about 4 months, it looks like. So that's what I've been working on.
Good. Well,
Mm,
it's important.
yeah.
There's a shortage of
Yeah.
teachers.
Yep. Well, that's what we're doing. I've been talking about it, and I don't make New Year's resolutions, but I've been talking about writing my 3 books. So I think we're getting them done this year too. That's the next plan.
Cool. Okay, so let's talk about the orbs, and let's talk
Yeah.
about the drones that you up in your area. What have you discovered in your spot?
I haven't seen any drones, but for people where I live, how I explain it, I'm not quite in the middle of Canada, but
Yeah.
I'm in the place called Thunder Bay. So I know, but for people
Yeah,
listening,
Thunder
I'm
Bay.
about Thunder Bay.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm about 35, 40 minutes away from the Minnesota border, and about 6.5, 7 hours north of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Okay.
So, we have everything here paranormal, and for people, because we haven't talked in a long time on air,
No.
but I have lived in an extremely haunted house. Derek, I have mentioned you many times because you were witness to one of the creepiest
Yeah.
things I have ever experienced
Yes.
on camera. Somebody being possessed at 3:00 in the morning, my time. I'm thinking, this is long before what I'm doing now. I was kind of just getting into it. I'm thinking, who do I know that can help, that would be
Yeah.
be awake at this time? And you
Yeah.
were.
Where's Derek?
You
Where's
saw.
Derek when you need him? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, yes, we have Bigfoot, we have dogmen, we have UFOs, we have severe hauntings. I'm not the only one. I don't know if it's because we live on the shores of Lake Superior and we have a
Uh-huh.
very strong First Nations history, but there is a lot of ufology.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of different things. For example, one person I know, I'm now doing animal communication, and she's one of my mentors. And on the last full moon, she sent me a picture and she said, "What is that?" And I said, "I'm not sure." And I showed it to my partner, Del, who said, "It's a lens flare," but it was green. I
Yeah.
said, "Are you sure? They're usually white." So I told her, "Please video." She's in the southern states,
Mhm.
and send it to me. And I'm going to video. As I start videoing, he was right. It was a lens flare,
Mhm.
but I'm messaging her, voice message her, and I'm going, "Holy crap. Hang on, I'm seeing something." And I filmed it.
Yeah.
It was something red. It was long. It was last full moon, so not the one in December and November. It was red. It was not flying like a plane, and it was zigzagging all over the sky. I've been
Yeah.
seeing all kinds of stuff like this. hmm
Oh, and they love to say,
what is
those are satellites.
Not a satellite. Not a satellite. I can guarantee you.
I keep
not
telling
a satellite. I know the
people,
difference.
Satellites are not that close to Earth. So why are you calling it a satellite?
No, it's not a satellite. I can guarantee you. I live with one of the biggest skeptics on the planet. And
Yeah.
he's been thrown 15 feet across the kitchen by what we had in our previous home, and he's still a skeptic. So it was pretty interesting. And I've actually showed them on some of my shows that I do on Thursday night with my co-host, David, he's from North Carolina.
Oh, cool.
And yeah. hmm So your thoughts are, you think these are angels?
Yeah,
The orb?
the orbs are angels. They're
Mhm.
actually there to help us, to protect us, because right now we're basically finishing off what I was told. We're finishing off what you call the war between God and the darkness. So
Absolutely.
so basically this is the finishing of the war, and so they're protecting us. They're making sure that we don't come to harm. That's why those drones came out of the ocean, because they're finished. What they're trying to do is cause what's called the false flag, to get people scared, and that's not what it's about.
Yeah,
So
Project Bluebeam.
yeah.
Well, I think
Yeah.
they're going to pull
Yeah.
some stunts. because
Exactly.
January 21st, all you
Yeah.
got to do is look up Dr.
Yeah.
David Martin and Peter, what's his name? I can't remember, Hotzel or whatever. He's
Yeah.
already announced it. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and this is the
Yep.
day after Trump's inauguration. So this is the reason why they're trying to play
Yep.
the game. So I tell people, it's those orbs are not small; they're huge, they're large. So they're these, and then there was I'm sure you may have seen the video. There was actually a young lady that actually was talking to one of the orbs. It got close to her, so she communicated with it. She says, "Jesus is my savior," and the orb actually just
Yep.
literally flared up and just was
Yeah.
happy as all heck, and she got quivers, and like she's like, "Oh my God, you're one of them!" Like, and so that's why they were
So
there.
what do you
She
think
knew.
that drones are sending over the radio waves? Because when they're over top of an area and people try and tune into their favorite radio station, they're getting all kinds of strange language and sounds coming through. What do you think that is?
Well, basically, what they're trying to do is number one, extraterrestrials are not even from another planet. They're actually here. They're underground. So
Yeah.
they've been here for thousands of freaking years. So now they're letting themselves be known here to us. Say, and they're not invading us. They're letting us know they're here. Because if they're invading, we would have
if they wanted to.
We would have been gone a long
ago.
time ago. Yeah. So, but there's certain groups of people in the dark side. We'll say the dark side. This is a little, use a
Yes,
little
you have to
phase
be
of the word.
careful.
Use the word of
Yeah.
Star Wars way of saying it. They're in the dark side. These ones here are trying to manipulate it to make it look like it's worse than what it is, because they love to put fear mongering in the public. And I tell
That's how
people,
they control
don't
us.
listen to the crap anymore, because if you get caught up in that crap, that's the reason why I got so many Karens out there.
Mhm. Well, hey,
Yeah.
when you're over the target, that's when you get the heat.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
When you're speaking the truth.
I've been targeted so many times. I've been people are warning me, Derek, be careful, Derek, be careful. I had people come up to you, be careful. I got nothing to worry about. I'm
Mhm.
protected.
Mhm.
I'm protected. I don't worry. I just tell the story the way I see it. And
Mhm.
and you know me well enough to know that.
I do.
So
I share your beautiful products many times with many people. Even though I haven't talked to you guys, I think about you all the time, and I have not forgotten you.
Oh, I have.
Like I said, you come.
Yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Yeah, I've been busy as all heck. So
Well, no, but I end up, like I say, sharing your stuff. I've shown many people. Derek has, I bought it from him, but he did it the most beautiful job on a walking stick for me with crystals. And people ask me all the time, do you know somebody that does beautiful art pieces like you do? I say, I know the perfect guy for you. I've sent your website many times to people because you do make beautiful things.
Crazy thing is now I'm getting more involved in healing crystals, and I'm also getting more involved in here's a cool part, because we're always talking about the EMF frequencies. So I'm bringing up the certain stones now that are important to be used.
Shungite is an important one.
All the time.
Very important. Yeah, shungite, however you want to say
So
it. Yep.
I've got my shungite right here. There's my raw shungite here, and I got many small stones. And I tell people, if you can, get something made with shungite and wear it. And I had a lady friend of mine who actually does silver work, and she actually did the silver work for me. And I got a piece of shungite made.
Beautiful.
I wore it around my neck. And I'll tell you one thing. Ever since I say, for example, I have my cell phone, I'm on the cell phone, I noticed that the frequency has lowered itself. It's not, you don't feel like lethargic after using it. So the shungite does have something in it, in the stone itself, that controls the EMF frequency. So
Well, I do crystal Reiki, so I do that quite often. I have quite a few people don't know what it is. I need to make a video because for people who've never, it's a newer modality of Reiki, but you use 15 symbols and you work with people's chakras and you balance them, and then you work on their energy field with it. So it's pretty cool modality.
Exactly.
So I do that quite a bit. I work with a lot of crystals.
Cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad. Thank you for letting me call in. That's
Yeah.
very nice of you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I'm supposed to be working on a resin piece right now.
Well, I'll let you go and have I'll let you go and work on your resin piece. I just wanted you to call in just to share a little bit of your story regarding what you've been witnessing on your area regarding those drones and orbs. So then, I'm not the only crazy guy out there.
No, like I say, it's been cloudy around here. I'm waiting for a clear night. There will be one, and I will be watching. I'm always looking. I'll send you some of the videos. They're not from what's been going on the last month, but they've been over the last year, about year or so, and I'll send them to you. Take a look at them.
Sounds cool.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everybody listening to you
Yeah.
and your lovely, beautiful wife. And we will talk soon, my friends.
Okay, take care. Stay in touch.
I will for sure. Much
Have
love.
fun. Take care. Bye.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Laura Lee Potvin. If you want to know anything about her, folks, look under her page on Facebook, Laura Lee Potvin, and you'll find her. You can, if you guys want to know who she is, I'll come up with the page for you. You can have a chat with her. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for coming on the program. We're going to let you guys go. Have a good new year coming up, because I won't be seeing you guys until next year. So it'll be January the 1st. That'll be on a Tuesday, right? My show will be on a Thursday. So guys, have a great one. Talk to you guys and be good to each other, and have a wonderful new year. We'll talk to you guys next time. It will be 2025. Take care.
Everyone lives, everyone dies. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is there war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Alright. Isn't it time for to stop dying? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace.